So, what time is it? 10:30. Today is, what day is today? 17th of June, with the beautiful weather. So let's enjoy our opportunity to be together, to try to learn something more. And before we start, let me do a quick prayer. Father, all my brothers and sisters from the spiritual world, they also give us support in this activity. I would like to ask your blessings, your intuition, and your support through this study to allow us to capture things that are important to ourselves and to those that perhaps would like to ask and are a bit shy to do it. Be with us today and always. So be it. So let me share the book with you all. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Just move that to the bottom. Yes. Yeah. Well, last weekend we have spoken about the item before, that was a 164, and we stopped right on the item 165, hearing mediums. So I will, before we start to talking about hearing mediums, yes, I'd like to speak about something. Yes, it's possible that we have only one type of sensibility, one type of mediumship. But quite often, through the practice, we see that mediumship also develops. Today, I feel like I only can receive written messages. Couple of years down the line, I start to hear the spirits. Sometimes I start to receive the medium in a way, the spirits in a way that I can vocalize his thoughts. And that's very common. The amount of time that we had someone join us in our meetings saying, no, the only thing I'm able to do is to write. All right, we'll see. And eventually the person with the right trigger, the right support, she also starts to develop other sensibilities. So she starts to see, to listen, to talk, and that's very common, right? So let's start by the item 165, hearing mediums. These mediums can hear the voice of spirits. As we stated when discussing pneumatophony, it is sometimes an internal voice that is heard deep down, while other times it is an external voice as clear and distinct as if by a living person. Hearing mediums can thus converse with the spirits, and when they acquire the ability to communicate with certain ones, they immediately recognize them by the tone of their voice. Persons who do not possess this faculty can also communicate with the spirit through a hearing medium, who then act as interpreter. I'll stop here because I've seen a few things interesting here. Right? Let's talk about the way we can hear spirits. Guilherme, that's more common than we think. We hear someone calling us. Oops, there's no one around me. Where this is coming from? If I'm alone in my room like I'm here today, oh dear, oh dear, there's something wrong here. Let me get away from here. If I am on the streets, on the theater, or somewhere else, well, possibly someone calling another Guilherme, not me. And then we don't pay much attention. But this is a very common thing. We hear people calling us. When we look up, there's no one calling us. And there is also another way that is we feel like someone is dropping inside our brain that sound like. Am I thinking? Or am I listening to someone's thoughts? But I can kind of hear what this thought is telling me. It's not just a thought, it's more than that. It's like I'm hearing. So there is a lot of possibilities between one example and the other one I gave. And one medium is not equal to the other. It depends on his sensibility. One can hear clearly the whole conversation, and he can also hear like an inner voice sometimes, and other people cannot, right? But we have a hand already, so let me open that for Liz. Hi, Liz.
In about 2005 or 2006, when I was in London, I'd just woken up. I was alone in my bedroom, and I distinctly heard a voice calling my name, Liz. The thing is, I didn't recognize the tone. Though mentally, I asked who it was, or you know, what it was they were wanting to tell me, but I didn't receive a reply. And I thought, well, if they could call my name, surely they could tell me the reply. I've never had that since, though.
Well, if it was me, that is spirit, I would be calling you just to wake you up, just because I like to have fun. You know?
Right, I had already just woken.
So it depends. There are many reasons why that could be like that, why that could happen. And when he was saying that you recognize by the tone of the voice, that means that you already establish a connection with this spirit. You are acquainted. It's not the first time you are talking. It's the same. I can't, even if you guys here shut down your cameras, I am able to know who is talking to me. Because
that does make more sense. Yes, because it was shortly after my son had died, and I was doing medium psychic studies at the academy in London, and shortly before that, I had felt my son blow on my cheek in the bed, so it must have been my son.
Could be, be. You know, so that example he was mentioning here in the book is when we are acquainted to the spirit we are talking to. Likewise, when we are acquainted to one spirit, it's not only the voice we recognize, we can recognize the energy, we can recognize the activity he's proposing, we can recognize the voice, we can recognize the smell sometimes. It depends on the medium, right? So there are, we are spirits. How do we, if we all here, we all shut down our cameras, how we can recognize who is whom here? Well,
I didn't sense any negative energy with that voice, I must admit. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Guillaume.
Cool. So we spoke about the voices. Medium can thus converse with the spirits when they acquire ability to communicate with certain ones. So this is very important here. When they acquire the ability. So that means I may have the sensibility, but if I don't know how to use, first of all, I'll be scared to death. Hey, Leta, good morning. Leta is really scared about spirits. The first good morning she hears, she'll say to her husband, I cannot cook in the kitchen anymore. There's someone calling my name. Now it's up to you to cook all day now. Good idea, Leta. So, but It's natural. She does not know. She never had that contact. And she started to think about many things. I'm getting crazy. This is something from the bad areas in the world. You name it, you know. But when she started to learn, to acquire this ability, and the ability moves side by side with study and practice, then she can even have a normal conversation. What are you doing here? What can you do? What can I do for you? And if it's someone she knows, she loves, hi, I miss you very much. How are things with you nowadays? You all right? Yeah. Quick conversation with those we love. Why not? Right? Another thing that is very interesting in this chapter, in this sentence here, is who can act as an interpreter? Sometimes I am completely deaf. I cannot hear anything. I cannot see anything. But there's a medium beside me that I can use as go-between. I can ask things through this medium will pass through me, right? So this is something that happens very more often than we think, to the point that sometimes some of our ideas, some of the things we say or we hear from someone, sometimes it's not that person that is talking to you. He or she is under a certain level of influence to talk with you. For example, how many people we have here today? Let me see. We have 17 people. Oh, a lot for a Saturday, a sunny Saturday. Very nice. So we have 17 people here. From the 17 people here, I would assume that at least 50% of the people here with us today, they don't know they are mediums. They are here because they feel something that they don't know what it is, but they don't know they are mediums. And sometimes, because they don't know, they don't have the practice, they don't have that, they've never been acquainted to this kind of knowledge, things he or she will talk may not come directly from himself or herself. Maybe someone that's closer passing through. How would I recognize that? I hate peanuts. And for some reason, I said to Pablo, can we buy a peanut cake, a peanut bar, or whatever? So something is not quite right because I don't like peanuts. And I'm proposing to Pablo, can we share some peanut cake, for example? So I'm just giving like a little example. It's not really like that, but just to give you an idea how we can capture things when we are not ourselves passing a message through. All right. Likewise, for example, I know my father very, very well. He will never, ever say to me that sentence. Never. So he's becoming cuckoo or something's changing too much. But this is a kind of thing that may trigger my alarm to pay attention if is or is not. Maybe yes, he may have changed entirely who he is or who he was, and he's changing what he's saying. But this is a kind of trigger that I always pay attention when we are in the right environment to that kind of thing. Okay. This faculty is very pleasing when such mediums hear only good spirits or those whom they call. But the same is not true when evil spirits hound them, make them hear every minute the most disagreeable and often most inappropriate things. In such cases, it is necessary to get rid of them through the method we shall indicate on the chapter Obsession. Ula. I like pretty much what he said here. We all would like to hear only good things, isn't it? We all would like to be the vector, channeling being the mediums from someone that was very important to someone that is well known as someone elevated morally and spiritually. We all would like to be there. Everyone. Even if we don't say, yes, we would like. It's a little, but we would like. But it's not always like that. Here we are talking about hearing ability, but this is to any type of mediumship, any type of sensibility. Clairvoyant mediums, for example, they may see pretty things, but they may see pretty ugly things too. Is another degree of complication. When we are only listening to bad things, it's not that bad. Could be another level, right? But there's one thing that he's saying here on the end that I would like to bring your attention, that we need to be very careful in this word obsession. Over the years, I heard many times people coming to us, I have an obsession. My first question is, who told you that? A friend that's medium saw this, hear this, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. My first thought when I have that kind of answer, the person who told you this does not really understand the word charity. Because even if any of you here are in an obsession case, I will never tell you like that. I will guide you through the process so you can get better. But telling you that you have a situation like that will not help at all. On the other hand, could have a different closure. Let's say that one of you are a bit under pressure, you have some suicidal thoughts, and coming to me, oh yes, you are obsessed. There are very nasty spirits with you. You finish that conversation with me and you jump from the first bridge. I just gave you the final push. And I cannot do that. I cannot commit myself to that kind of thing. So that is the first thing about that. The second question I do, how do you know for sure you have an obsession? Well, because this, and this. I'll tell you what. Over the years, very, very small percentage of people that believe they were under an obsession case, they truly were under an obsession case. Being under influence is one thing. We all are, even here. We are under certain level of influence from the spirits around us. Even in our study, yes, we are. I am. We are never alone, never. So the spirit that's beside me, to a certain extent, we are sharing that energy, that vibration, that happiness or that sadness. We are sharing. So we are under influence. And once again, we all are under certain level of spiritual influence, period. When we're talking about obsession, it's something really, but really hard. That's not the objective of what we're talking here. We'll talk about obsession later, but it's something very, very hard. So, why I'm starting to talk about that slightly is because sometimes the spirits are in my ear saying bad things, but he's calling for help. He's not there just to bring us problem. He's there asking for help. So my first suggestion to all of you if you do face a situation like that, the first thing I would do, and I would recommend you all to do, ask a higher intervention from the universe, from God, from Jesus, from what you feel like, from your guardian angel, to help this brother. Because that's what he or she needs. But in reality, when we face anything that is not pleasant for us, what we normally do, I want that to get away from me. And that's very natural. It's understandable. I want to get this spirit to go away from me. So we never truly understood what the Spiritism is. The Spiritism is a powerful tool to help spirits, incarnated and discarnated spirits. Even though when I am truly involved in an obsession case, I should be asking for those spirits who are really creating that problem for me. Not to ask, please take them away from me. Because, by the way, if a spirit managed to move him away from you, it's just for a little time, and they will come back. Do you know why they will come back? Because this atmosphere of spirits around us are determined by our thoughts, by our actions. So I can have a huge benefactor coming here, getting this spirit away from me, but I will do again what I like to do. And when I do again, I just call them back. All right. So let me just move on. I just give a little bit of information to that because I felt like I could not let it go. But later on in the book, we'll be speaking more in length about obsession. Okay. Is speaking. Oh, before I move on, any questions, any comments? I don't think so then. All right. Anyone?
Hello.
Hello.
I feel like you were talking to me because I had something in my head.
I know you.
But as you said, you know, we talk more about it later. So I said, okay, we talk more about it later. But then when you said that, okay, maybe I shouldn't say this. No, I just thought about we all been brought up, and our education always been like good versus evil, isn't it? But it is really hard to come out of that. When we study Kardec, when we study Spiritism, we understand, first of all, we are all spirits, we are all brothers and sisters. No one is bad, no one is good. We are all born simple and ignorant. So then when we come from that premise, we understand that those people that are unhappy, they are ignorant of their actions. When we talk about obsession, then we are able to really have true compassion for those spirits that are influenciating people in a negative way because of this. And then we understand our own responsibility. Being a spiritist, I think this is the biggest, let's put it like that, slap in the face. If we want comfort from the spiritism, we have plenty, but we also have a call to responsibility, to self-responsibility for your actions. And the more we study, the more we understand it, the more we take in that self-responsibility for what happened around us.
Agreed. And by the way, it's a very good example. I don't see the person who's talking to me. By the time I know it's Liz. Well, how I know it's Liz? Because I recognize her voice, the way she talks, her accent, right? Good example.
My Welsh accent.
All right.
My accent.
Welsleyan accent.
Wasn't it that way?
And there's another thing that when you were talking, Liz, came to my mind. I don't like to use that word evil. Because evil is something that we learned way back. And what is evil? Am I in a position to truly evaluate who is evil, or who is misguided, or who is suffering? Am I in this position? There are people that have so much of bad intentions that we can say there is evil. But even like that, they are more misguided than anything else. If they are misguided, what they need is help. So, but when we label evil spirits, I'm not talking about you, Liz, it's just about what is written here. I create two types of spirits. Nice spirits that I want to be close to them, I want to work with them, I want to get messages from them, I want to talk with them. And I have the other team, that's the evil spirits. But when we discarnated, when we die, very unlikely we'll be in this team of nice spirits. Because we all have something that we are not very proud of inside ourselves, don't we? We all made bad choices. We all will make more bad choices. Are those bad choices putting us in the classification of evil spirits? So I try not to use that word because I truly believe that we are all the same. And the difference between left and right, in that sense, is only because one group managed to go faster into that direction, and the other group is still in need of hands to be brought into the right direction. All right. So, speaking mediums, hearing mediums who only transmit what they hear are not actually speaking mediums. I thought it was. There's a lot of misconception. And it's very close to, right? Because I hear and I transmit. So I'm talking, but that's not, just for the sake of clarity, it's not the same classification that was given by Kardec, okay? So, who only transmit what they hear are not actually speaking mediums, who most of the time do not hear anything at all. So the difference between the medium that hears and the medium that talks in that classification is that the one that speaks doesn't hear anything, just let it go and talk. With such a mediums, spirits act upon their vocal organs, just as they act upon the hands of the writing mediums. In order to communicate, a spirit utilizes the most flexible organ it can find in a particular medium. So you are more in line with the writing than to talking, so they will use whatever is available. From one, he borrows the hand, from another, the vocal cords, from a third, the ears. In general, speaking mediums express themselves without any awareness of what they are saying, and they nearly always address subjects completely foreign, oh dear, to their customary ideas, outside their sphere of knowledge and even beyond the reach of their intelligence. And there is something that's also very interesting, because it's known that at the time of Kardec, you had more automatic mediums like he described here, the people would talk without even know what's going on and just talking. On the end, the person would not have any idea of what was happening. But nowadays, we see less and less this characteristic. In the present moment in time, we have the great majority of mediums able to talk, but they are conscious mediums. They know what they're talking. So this is what we found more often nowadays. Although they are perfectly awake and normal during the process, they rarely remember what they have said. In other words, the medium's voice is an instrument that the spirits use and through whom another person can converse with it, as is the case with a hearing medium. Nevertheless, the speaking medium's passivity is not always so complete. There are those who have an intuition about what they are saying at the time they utter the words. We shall focus on this variety when they address intuitive mediums. It's a little bit what I said, right? Hi, Osoli. Osoli, your mic is closed.
Morning, morning,
Morning.
Charles, everybody. Sometimes I have, vizinhos, madam. We speak about one another. We speak mediums. May I say something?
Sure.
Sometimes I have a difficult know if because sometimes it's so naturally, so that I think it's me, it's not me, because I have this no sonambulic, I have almost awake, and sometimes I feel I talk to one tunnel, something like a tunnel, but I heard what I see me, but I heard when the Spirit said, I'm always sure when I feel modified. I can't explain, sorry, but if it's a very, very strong, physically strong spirits here in the earth, then the spirits maybe can, I feel, I transform, but I can't I know it's not me. I sure 100% is not me. And the voices sometimes change it too. And I know it's not me, but I hear and do. Maybe I can hear. I can't hear, but so it's two types. Danson is very, very naturally. And maybe I think, Judy, it's me, it's not me. And there second and thousand and second. So I think then I must trust to the spirit. I must trust is one spirit and is one spirit. People they see them, but that don't convince me. You understand me? It's not so easy to know.
Let me see what I can take from there.
Thank you.
One, it's not straightforward for any medium, especially for beginners, the certitude that who is talking. Because sometimes we feel like we are talking. It's not in the spirit. Sometimes we are not sure if it's a spirit or not. And sometimes we are. Depending on the sensibility of the medium, the communication, written or mainly the verbal communication, we may feel so heavily the presence of spirits that we feel like we are having some of our own characteristics changed, like voice, tone, strength, things like that. And that's very common, right?
I don't want to say name. It's not Jesus or Maria. No, it's not so. But it's a spirit. It was a doctor here, and he was stark, so strong, and he is drive when one is study and mediums ship in two times per month, Monday, 2 times per month, and we study a book. So he was wonderful because you can understood it very, very good. I don't know. We can say no, I don't know, but if you say okay, also I say, and this is, and she said, people see it, and I feel here this him because I feel has kindness. I feel very, very intelligent. I feel, and I know it's him. And how this I know. When I know. But when I don't know, people must say it to me if they want to see the tape, because I ask never ask about so have you seen? Never. Because
Well, let me take from there as well. One thing that is very common is sometimes the mediums, they feel like they are special. And mediums like to talk a lot about the mediumships, about the sensibilities, and to the point that people start to asking too much questions for the medium, and the medium will start to get into the loop, feel like he needs to answer or she needs to answer. And mediums, what are mediums? To make very clear to everyone, what are mediums? Mediums are the go-between. It's like a water pipe. Mediums are a water pipe. The water come from the left and left and the right, and that's it. These are mediums, right? We are not specials. We are not unique. We are not...
I know why I refuse to talk about this. I am here with her. I think about almost 1 year, but I don't want to talk about this because it seems like a medium would like to appear to. No. This is so wrong. It's because first medium must be honest first, then humility. What's the humility in English? Humility. Try, because we are only one way to the spirit talk, and we are always here in the earth, always we are in the same situation. Medium is then so most had a problem another time in another incarnation. So, and here he have problems, suffer, and a medium, and must be humility. So, I can't explain. Sorry, my English is not so good, but I try studying.
Humility, is it, Elsali?
Yeah. Very good comments, Elsali. So let's move on a little bit now.
Thanks.
So seeing mediums. Seeing mediums are those gifted with the ability to see spirits. I have a problem with that word here, gifted. And that's in line with what I have said a few minutes ago. Mediums are not gifted at all, right? Because when we say gifted, people start to feel like I am something special. And you are not. None of us are. That's the truth. We are just here to work to help spirits that are suffering. That's it, right? But when we use the word gifted, we feel so proud of ourselves. We feel like we have something more than the others, and that's not true. With the ability to see spirits, there are those who enjoy this faculty in a normal state, who are perfectly awake and who retain a precise memory of what they have seen. Others, displayed only in the somnambulistic state or one of those somnambulism, close to somnambulism. We'll talk about somnambulism and somnambulistics in the future, all right? This faculty is rarely permanent, since it is almost always the result of a sudden and temporary crisis. Okay, Kardec is saying that. I would like to see in the French version if it's written like that, but hi, Pablo.
Hi, I remember some time ago we talked about like when spirits want this to happen, they will make it happen. So what I wanted to see, like to have a parallel why we studied this like months ago. So for the faculty of seeing mediums, will they see the spirits regardless of the spirit wanting them to be seen, or is it something that has to be both ways? So the faculty is there and the spirit wants to be seen.
We need to understand first, Pablo, that any mediumistic characteristic is directly connected to our perispirit. And any connection is between perispirit, our perispirit, with the entity perispirit. To have any mediumship phenomena, we need to have some degree of resonance or fluidic attachment, some degree. We have to have some compatibility, energetic compatibility to be able to have that connection, right? Saying that, not everyone will see the spirit. I may have 3 clairvoyant mediums, seeing mediums, as it's saying here, in the room, and only one will be able to see the spirit. Not necessarily the spirit is, I want that medium to see me. I don't want the other 2 to see me. It's not like that. I don't see like that. You may have situations where the spirits who are well known to the phenomena, that they can interfere in the fluids, in the way you get attached one to another. That's another thing. But I understand, I may be wrong. It's up to you all to read the book and to study by yourselves too. But I understand that it's like an equation. And that equation has different factors. Only when I fulfill all those factors, I'll have a perfect equation that will allow me to see the spirit. One of the factors is my physical ability. Sometimes we have 3 seeing mediums here. One is more sensible than another. So this is related to our physical body too, right? So there's a lot of factors that when they are aligned, you'll be able to see the spirit, okay? Or the display, is that okay, Pablo? I guess so. I cannot hear.
Makes sense.
Okay. Others displayed only on the somnambulistic state or close to somnambulistic. This faculty is rarely permanent, since is almost always result. This is something that I'm not sure if it's really permanent, because seeing mediums that I was used to work with, they had that their entire life. Chico Xavier is another example. So it depends of whom you're talking about. If you're talking about me, I don't see anything. If you talk about Chico Xavier, he sees everything. If you talk about Divaldo, perhaps he sees everything. If you talk about Pablo, perhaps he sees in between me and Divaldo, for example. It depends on the medium. Okay? Hi, Osoli.
Yeah, I must say something first. This is, to me, I take to me as like a lesson that I need to me to understand it deeply everything. Why I ask more and more. When, because Pablo said something, when you see sometimes when a spirit, sometimes maybe and two ways per year, and this point is that this spirit is transmitted to you here, but you hear, and that you say it till another people say that they would like it. They would like the another's no. What is this? It's not the same medium. The medium see every time. I think every day. I don't see every day. Never. Sometimes.
I'm having a hard time to understand the question, Osoli. What is the question?
The question is when you see only sometimes, and it have one point why it happens there, because the another my hostess, for example, I was there and I slept there. It was an event in south of Sweden, and children evangelizations event, and there I when I
But Osoli,
sleep is that when I would sleep,
but I beg your pardon.
Spirit.
Yeah, I beg your pardon. I have a difficulties when the subject is dragging on. What is the question? I'm still.
The question is, I saw a spirit there, and so talk, but I do not understand nothing, because it's like one glass. I couldn't hurt. I couldn't hurt. I heard it in the spirit. No, and I saw another day to my hostess. So, and she said, so it was, so she was about 50, between 50 and 60 years old, and she was very, very early. And I said, be calm, because you will be helping me. And she recognized it. She said, yes, I know, because she is all about son, and she passed away 4 years ago. So she recognized it, the spirit. I didn't know, and I asked her not anything about it. But she said, yes, I know, Osoli. Thank you very much. I will try to.
I honestly, I'm probably having so many invitations today, and I still don't get which is the question. So
no, I don't.
I'll move on a little bit, and then perhaps I will be able to capture the question. All right. This faculty is rarely permanent, since it is almost always the result of a sudden and temporary crisis. In this category of seeing mediums, we may include all individuals gifted with second sight. one part of what Sully was saying, I think, is captured here. Someone that maybe see eventually will be considered as a second sight, maybe. I'm not sure. The ability to see spirits while dreaming is also a kind of mediumship, but does not comprise seeing mediums per se. We have explained this phenomenon in the chapter 6. The phenomena behind what is described here, that we see spirits when we are sleeping, is not because we are seeing the spirit. It's because our perispirit goes a little bit away from our physical body. And then when we are detached from our physical body, our senses are have less influence of our physical body. So we have more clarity to see the spiritual world. Sometimes we remember, sometimes we do not remember, okay? Like those with second sight, seeing mediums believe they see through their eyes, but in reality, it is their soul who sees, which is why they can see with their eyes closed or open.
Yes.
Thus, a blind person can see spirits as well as someone with normal sight. It would be interesting to perform a study in this issue to see if this faculty is more frequent among the blind. I don't know if anybody ever did such a study, but the spirits who have lived on the earth as blind individuals have told us that through their soul, they had a perception of certain objects and that they were not immersed in total darkness after all. So once again, I think it's down to the individual, to his physical capacity, characteristics, sensibility, and one blind person will not have perhaps the same ability to see, to sense things as another one would. We still have a little bit of time. We must distinguish between accidental and spontaneous apparitions and the actual faculty for seeing spirits.
Good.
The former most frequently occur at the time of death of loved or known individuals who have come to serve warning that they no longer belong to this world. Let me read that again. The former most frequently occur at the time of death of loved or known individuals who have come to serve warning that they, well, we have that not even in the Spiritism. A lot of people, they have that sense that someone passed away. Sometimes they see someone that passed away before approximately in the time the act was happening. So yeah, we do see that, not even, or even beyond the Spiritism, okay? There are numerous examples of such cases, not to mention those that occur as visions during sleep. But visions are another subject, all right? At the other times, they are relatives or friends who, although dead for quite some time, appear to warn us of danger, to provide counsel, or to ask a favor, which normally consists in carrying out some kind of service that they could not complete while alive, but which may also entail prayers. Doesn't matter why you are seeing spirits. It doesn't matter. What we need to know is, when we see a spirit, what should I know? A prayer. Send good energy, send good vibration. That's the most important. The reason why the spirit is there could be for a good reason, could be for a bad reason, as we saw today in the beginning. The medium do not always have or should expect to have nice things. Could be for one reason, could be for another. The most important thing is to us to learn how to deal with that, how to react in front of that. How to react? Well, if you are good spirits and I can clearly see what you're telling me, thank you, very nice. I make a prayer for you. Bye-bye. If it's a bad spirit, not that different. If I am in a condition to help, do it. If I'm not in a condition to help, thank you very much for your presence. I will make you a prayer for you, and I hope that our benefactors will help you out, and I wish you all the best. So now, if you stay here with me, won't help you. So I hope that you can follow the benefactors and then continue your path. Hi, Ursuline.
Once more. And when I know that I am a clarivident. I am not vident. I don't see every time in spirits, so it happens. It happens, but because I know I'm not vident, I am clarivident. So I walk away when I sleep, well, when I am here in my kitchen, and I see back and I say future. So it happens, and because it happens, I can't explain. It happens, and another air, or if my sister in São Paulo, I lived in São Paulo, my sister lived in Curitiba, and it happens one time I have so much problems, my family, my husband, and she said, "Oh, Elsori, maybe we can try meet in the night or so," and okay. And I wake in the middle of the night. My sister, I feel my sister beside me, like a wonderful, lovely cottons feeling, wonderful. I see, and his smell, her smell too, because I know his smell, my sister's smell, and this is special. I must say to you this one, because this is true. This is true. I don't lie.
Very good. Very good. So we have 3 minutes. Let me see. No, it's too much. So what I'm going to do, I'll mark here for next week. Right? And who is there? Cherry, can you do a final prayer for us?
Okay. We say thank you once again for all the learning that has taken place today. We thank our mentors, our guides, and we hope that we can use all the learnings today to enrich us and in order to help others on their path. Thank you very much for giving us this chance to learn further and further each week. So be it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cherry. Thank you very much, everyone, to being here. Looking forward to be with you guys next week, and I wish you have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.